You have probably swallowed a pill today without thinking twice about it. A headache, a sniff, a little ache in your back. There is a solution in a bottle and you reach for it automatically. But for 99.9% of human history, that bottle did not exist. No pharmacies, no surgeries, no antibiotics, no painkillers. Just you, your body, and a world full of things trying to kill you. And yet, here you are. Your ancestors survived plagues, infections, broken bones, childbirth, parasites, and predators without a single synthetic molecule. They lived long enough to have children, long enough to build civilizations, long enough to eventually invent the medicine you now take for granted. So how exactly did they do it? The answer is stranger and more impressive than you might expect, and it starts not with herbs or rituals, but with something already running inside your body right now. Your immune system is ancient, genuinely ancient. The core of it evolved roughly 500 million years ago, long before humans existed, long before mammals existed, back when life on Earth was still figuring out how to be complex. What you carry inside your body today is 500 million years of biological problem-solving, refined through every plague, every parasite, every bacterial invasion your ancestors ever faced. Immunologist Charles Janeway spent his career mapping what he called the innate immune system, the part of your defenses that does not need to learn a threat. It recognizes patterns, shapes on the surface of bacteria and viruses that have not changed much in millions of years. Your body knows what danger looks like before it has ever seen it before. That knowledge is written into your cells. This was the first medicine, not something you took, something you were, but the immune system alone was not enough. Ancient humans also got sick. They got wounded. They broke bones and tore muscles and suffered infections that, left alone, would kill. And what they did next turns out to be more sophisticated than the word primitive suggests. Researchers studying chimpanzees in Tanzania observed something remarkable. When chimps became infected with intestinal parasites, they would seek out specific plants they did not normally eat, plants that were bitter and offered no nutritional value. They would swallow the leaves whole without chewing, and the rough texture would physically scrape parasites from the gut wall. Primatologist Michael Huffman documented this behavior and called it zoopharmacognosy, animals medicating themselves, not taught, not learned from a parent, instinctive. Your ancestors did the same thing, only they went further. Archaeological evidence from sites across Iraq, Israel, and South Africa shows ancient humans deliberately collecting specific plants around burial sites and living areas. A Neanderthal burial site at Shanidar Cave in Iraq, studied by archaeologist Ralph Solecki, showed pollen from 8 different medicinal plant species packed around a body: yarrow, groundsel, ephedra. Plants that modern pharmacology has since confirmed carry genuine anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and stimulant properties. Neanderthals were not just surviving, they were curating knowledge about the natural world that would take modern science centuries to catch up with. But herbal knowledge was only one layer of how ancient humans kept each other alive. The deeper layer was community. Anthropologist Margaret Metz once argued that the first true sign of civilization was not a tool or a weapon. It was a healed femur, a thigh bone. Because a broken femur in the ancient world meant you could not walk, could not hunt, could not feed yourself. You would die within weeks unless someone fed you, protected you, and stayed with you while your bones slowly knitted back together. A healed femur meant someone cared enough to do that. It meant a community that looked after its wounded rather than leaving them behind. Social support turns out to be biological medicine. Psychologist Sheldon Cohen ran a series of studies infecting volunteers with cold viruses under controlled conditions. What he found astonished the medical community. People with larger, more diverse social networks were significantly less likely to develop symptoms even when directly exposed to the same virus. Loneliness, by contrast, raised levels of inflammatory markers in the blood. Isolation made people physically more vulnerable to disease. Connection made them physically stronger. Ancient humans lived in tight bands of roughly 30 to 50 people. They groomed each other. They touched each other constantly. They slept close together in the cold. Every one of those behaviors was, without knowing it, medicine. The contact released oxytocin, which lowered cortisol, which reduced inflammation, which strengthened immune response. The warmth of other bodies regulated core temperature through the night. The sense of safety reduced the chronic stress response that, sustained over time, dismantles your immune defenses from the inside. Your body was not designed to heal alone. It was designed to heal inside a group. Ancient humans also understood something about rest that the modern world has almost completely forgotten. When your body is fighting an infection, it makes you tired on purpose. Profoundly, almost violently tired. This is not a symptom, it is a strategy. Researcher Mark Opp spent years studying the relationship between sleep and immune function and found that during sleep, the body dramatically increases production of cytokines, the proteins that coordinate immune response. Fever does the same thing. The elevated temperature you spend so much energy trying to suppress with medication is actually your body deliberately heating itself to a point where bacteria reproduce more slowly while your immune cells move faster. Ancient humans let these processes run. They had no choice. But in not interfering, they allowed the body to do exactly what it evolved to do. They rested. They sweated. They let the fever peak and break. And most of the time they survived. There were limits, of course. Infections that overwhelmed even the strongest immune system. Injuries too severe to recover from without surgical intervention. Childhood was devastatingly dangerous. Average life expectancy figures for ancient humans look alarming, but they are distorted by catastrophic child mortality. The humans who made it to adulthood were often extraordinarily robust. Their skeletons show healed fractures, survived infections, and lives of intense physical demand that would hospitalize most people alive today. They were not fragile. They were forged, and the knowledge they built over tens of thousands of years did not disappear. It became the foundation of every medical tradition on Earth. Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, indigenous healing practices on every continent, all of them drew from the same deep well of observation. Pay attention to the body, pay attention to the plants. Keep people together, let the body lead. Modern medicine did not replace that knowledge. It built on top of it. The aspirin in your medicine cabinet is derived from willow bark, a pain remedy ancient humans used for thousands of years before chemistry gave it a name. Morphine came from the opium poppy, cultivated medicinally in ancient Mesopotamia. Penicillin itself was discovered because of mold behavior that indigenous healers in multiple cultures had already noticed and applied to infected wounds centuries before Alexander Fleming looked through his microscope. The next time you reach for that bottle without thinking, consider what it took to fill it. 500 million years of immune evolution, tens of thousands of years of careful observation, entire communities built around keeping each other alive, ancient humans who paid attention to the world around them with a depth and seriousness that we are only now beginning to fully appreciate. They did not survive despite having no medicine. They survived because they understood something profound about the body that we are still learning to remember.